Hello and welcome to Food for Thought, and happy St Patrick's Day. My name's Mark Lockridge and I'm the pastor of New Life Fellowship in Letterkenny and the Reformed Presbyterian Church in Milford. It's good to have you with us. Last time in Food for Thought we started to look at some of the 7 sayings that come from Jesus Christ as he's hanging on the cross. 7 cries from a man fighting excruciating pain for each breath, and yet who has something vital that he wants to convey each time he speaks. And this second one is particularly precious to me. I read these words to a friend as he lay dying. It was just hours before he passed away, and the truth of them hit me as never before. It's one thing to read these words, but another to look into a dying man's eyes and to say them, and to feel the absolute reality of their truth. And that's how they were originally said. They were said by Jesus to a man facing death. In Luke 23 we read that Jesus was crucified between 2 criminals. They were murderers, they were thieves, they were rebels. Have you ever wondered why we're told that? Well, I don't know the reason why specifically, but one of the results is that we see 2 very different responses to Jesus. And we also get to see Jesus' response to a man for whom time has run out. Both men start off insulting the man on the middle cross. But at some point, perhaps it's when Jesus prays for forgiveness for those crucifying him, at some point one of them starts to change, while the other remains the same. The first thief continues to demand that Jesus dance to his tune, that Jesus get him down off the cross. Now that's an easy mistake to make, to want Jesus to meet our needs when we've no real interest in him. But the second man, however, responds differently. And this dying man shows us how to respond to Jesus. He acknowledges his guilt. He says that we are being punished justly. For him the problem is not that he's on a cross and wants down. For him the problem is that he's facing death and knows he's guilty. And so he asks Jesus to deal not with the death problem, but with the guilt problem. He acknowledges that God owes him nothing. He says, we are getting what our deeds deserve. He's really saying, I can't do anything to rescue myself. And you know, when we humble ourselves enough to admit our guilt and our inability to help ourselves, and we turn to Jesus and we say, would you do something? Would you remember me? What happens? Well, one of the most astonishing things in the world happens. Jesus speaks. What does he say to a murderer who has moments before been cursing him up and down, but who humbles himself, admitting his guilt, and says, would you remember me? Well, here's what Jesus says. I tell you the truth. Today you will be with me in paradise. Paradise, we cry. What? What? But he doesn't deserve that. He's been a rebel and a murderer. He deserves punishment. But you see, when we admit our guilt and our utter inability, we're in a position to receive the greatest gift. And it's so shocking and surprising that Jesus underscores his words with, I tell you the truth. He wants this man to realize that this gift is genuine. And here is the wonder of what the Bible calls grace. Grace simply is God's gift, God's undeserved gift, God's gift of rescue. And it's a great gift. It's a great gift because it's for everyone. This second thief and murderer and rebel had said, would you remember me? Well, who else would remember a dying rebel dying a shameful death? But Jesus says, I'll remember you. Isn't that what you want to hear him say to you? It's also great because we see in this man that no sin is too great for God's rescue. Anyone could find forgiveness if they asked Jesus. And it's great too because it brings such certainty. This man could do nothing to impress God, nothing to serve, nothing to earn his forgiveness. And yet Jesus says to him, today you will be with me in paradise. And that's because Jesus is going to be the one who'll pay for this man's sins. And so Jesus is the one who can speak with such certainty. And isn't that what we want when we face death? We want certainty. And what certainty it is. Today, Jesus says, you will be with me. No question, no doubts, today. What great certainty Jesus brings. It's a certainty not based on our own performance, but a certainty that comes from trusting in Jesus' performance. And that certainty was what hit me so forcefully as I looked in my friend's eyes. He too had trusted Jesus, and Jesus was saying to him as he faced his final moments, today you will be with me in paradise. May you find that certainty too. Thanks for listening. And if you have any comments or questions, you can reach me at mark@newlifefellowship.ie. Have a good week. Bye for now.